Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. Unfortunately, this is becoming something of a recurring theme on this channel, this sort of foreigners behaving badly, sort of, again, recurring stories, recurring narratives. I suspect going into high season and with the, it's interesting because it's been really sort of 4 years since we've gone into a real high season like we are right now. Even last year, going into the high season, nobody really had the attitude of, oh, we're going into a high season. Now, it turned out to be a lot better than a lot of people thought. I've noted that in other videos. Even the low season this year has been referred to as the green season amongst many Thais, especially in the tourism sector, as it appears that a lot of folks, especially interested in Thailand's recent legalization of cannabis, are staying longer in Thailand and staying in non-peak times compared to years past. That said, we haven't really gone into a high season in like 4 or 5 years now where people were going in with expectations regarding a high season and the data points were indicative of a rather large high season. I think we're looking at a rather large high season coming. I mean, I'm just sort of looking around on the streets of Bangkok and I'm seeing foreigners all over the place in October, and that is not overly common. Obviously, you'd see tourists here year-round, but I really think the numbers are going to be good this year, all things considered, and that's due to a number of different factors. Most notably, they've changed some of the visa rules. It's a lot easier to get in now, and for a variety of reasons, I think this is going to be a big high season. That said, going into that high season, I suspect we'll probably have even more of these videos because, again, in the past, before social media had gotten to the level it is now, and also before people could kind of take they could sort of become instant journalists by reporting on things, mostly using their smartphones, and these stories sort of come out. So what I'm trying to say is I don't think necessarily the foreign community is getting quote unquote worse here in Thailand per se, but I do have some questions, especially this past low season where we saw a spate of incidences involving foreigners here. We've discussed that at length, but I'm wondering if this is a phenomenon that we're just seeing now and it was always sort of like this, or if we're really seeing a sea change with regard to the type of foreigners that come to Thailand. Time will tell, and I'll keep making these videos and we can kind of parse that out as we go along. That said, I thought of making this video after reading a recent article from the Thai Examiner. That's thaiexaminer.com. Article is titled, Brit High on Pot Tried to Escape Arrest in Pattaya, Held on Nighttime Invasion and Visa Overstay Charges. Quoting directly, Brit high on cannabis arrested in Pattaya. I think this is interesting. First of all, it's notable. I think it's funny that the press, or certain aspects in the press, are wanting to point out, oh, this person was high on cannabis. Notice that when other foreigners are behaving badly and there probably is alcohol involved, that's never inserted in there. Now this could be due to the fact that the cannabis legalization is a relatively new phenomenon here in Thailand, but I wonder, because there are certain special interests, most notably Big Pharma and Big Alcohol, that are not big fans of the developments with regard to cannabis here in Thailand. That said, I find it a little bit strange that it seems like some in the press go out of their way to note that, oh, this person had cannabis in their system. My next question would be, do they have any alcohol in their system too? And if so, why not mention both, sort of thing? And again, I don't know if there was, but it's interesting. Quoting again, Brit high on cannabis arrested in Pattaya for nighttime invasion and visa overstay, held on deportation at notorious Thai detention center after 120-day visa lapse. I'll get into that here in a moment. Quoting further, charges of property damage add to his legal woes as he awaits trial and deportation. A UK man is being held at Nong Pru police station in Pattaya facing nighttime invasion, property damage, and visa overstay charges. The 28-year-old was taken into custody on Thursday evening by a Chonburi Immigration Bureau officer on foot of a provincial court warrant and on suspicion of overstaying his visa. The Brit was high on cannabis as he attempted to evade arrest. As usual, Thai Examiner goes into a lot of detail. I urge those who are watching this video, go check out that article in detail. I hesitate to make light of any of this, but apparently this person tried to evade, but they were high on cannabis, and that does not put you into the most clever of states of mind, nor does it make you doesn't make you exactly act with alacrity and a lot of speed, okay? That's just not the nature of cannabis inebriation. That's just a fact. That said, quoting further, and I think this is a good sort of teaching point for those who watch this channel, quoting further, deportation can drag on for months with offenders required to cover expensive direct flights home. Cases like this often take months to resolve. For instance, offenders are required to cover the full cost of their deportation. Only direct flights with tickets purchased from airlines operating out of Bangkok are accepted by authorities. And even then, it's quite limited. We assist oftentimes in these matters. I call it, and I'm borrowing a term from the American immigration vernacular, but I call it expedited deportation. So we get calls sometimes from people that are already in immigration detention, and they're looking for assistance in basically facilitating their way out. Not in any untoward way, just dealing with the bureaucracy, dealing with the administrative functions, or functionaries, I should say, and trying to basically move it through as quickly as possible to get out of detention, because you just want to get out of there. I've seen many of the incarceration facilities here in Thailand over the years, the corrections facilities, not limited to places like Klong Prem, the remand prison, Pattaya Provincial Court facilities, as well as immigration facilities. And I can say from personal experience, if I was picking one to be in, immigration detention would not be high on that list. In fact, it would probably be on the low end, if not the lowest one on the list of where I would want to be residing at any given moment. It's not designed for comfort. It's not even really designed for correction. It's designed for holding and processing out. And that's its main functions. And for that reason, it's a little bit more austere, I should say, than perhaps some other facilities here in Thailand. It's not a place you really want to be. So again, oftentimes we'll get calls from relatives and things of people who are in immigration detention looking to get them out in the fastest manner possible. Again, not changing any outcomes, not changing anything associated with procedure, but just trying to go ahead and expedite it so that they can get out of the country, because nobody wants to spend all that much time in an immigration detention facility. Quoting further, at length, police revealed that I'm going to redact the name, but Mr. So-and-so was arrested after a tip-off. The young man, dressed in gray shorts and a black t-shirt, attempted to evade arrest. However, officers pursuing him had little difficulty as he was under the influence of marijuana. Yeah, again, just to kind of drive that home, if you're going to come to Thailand and try to do a bunch of, I don't know, sneaky stuff, maybe lay off the pot. I mean, I would just, as a general recommendation, or maybe don't come to Thailand and try to do sneaky stuff in any event. You know, that being said, and the thing to take away from this video is, one, I find it a little strange that they go out of their way to mention the cannabis part of this. Again, this person could just as easily been intoxicated on alcohol or something else. Again, I'd like to know if alcohol was also involved, and if so, why is there no mention of that? That said, again, the biggest thing to take away from this video, which is most pertinent to sort of the bailiwick of this channel, would be the fact that, yeah, deportation is not a place where you want to find yourself, and it's a good idea to keep yourself in visa status. That's another issue. This person was on a protracted overstay, and now that they've been apprehended, they're definitely going to be blacklisted under the current blacklist rules for a minimum, I would guess, of 5 years. As we've discussed in other videos, if you're apprehended in Thailand with even 1 day of overstay, it can result in a 5-year ban. So that said, the thing to take away from this video is to understand that, look, if you're going to come to Thailand, you know, kind of behave well. And secondly, maintain your visa status lest you find yourself in the immigration detention center awaiting a deportation.